I mentioned that the pen fish are definitely bigger. There's no doubt about that. Survival's better. Our friends in New York State did a comprehensive multi-year study. Cost them a lot of money, frankly, so we thought we'd use their results. They're very applicable. Generally speaking, we get 2-to-1 returns from a fish that comes out of the pen. They survive about twice as well as a fish that goes in directly. It's got to be part of the reason is the size. When you're that small, they get a leg up, so to speak, early in the year. They're feeding more effectively as soon as they're out of the pen, likely can evade predators better, and just get a real jump start on that year's growth. So we actually count the pens. If we were to add another pen, we would count those fish as 2-to-1, because effectively that's what you're doing. The fish are really, in a sense, worth double. So we use that. It makes my life a little bit difficult when we're doing adjustments because they count for 2-to-1, but it's because of the quality of the fish. Yes, sir.
Are we any closer to the cormorant cull? We're releasing all these lovely game fish, but fishing the east side of Port Weller or Port Dalhousie, you see these huge schools of or flocks of cormorants coming in. Those birds were not native here, right? They weren't native here. Why are they here? You know, are they? Is it nature's balance? Are they eating the gobies and the zebra mussels? To a certain extent, but they're also taking our game fish. Are we any closer to a cull? I mean, we had a public input which I put in that you know, I agree on a cull, and you know, we have to move on with this.
Yeah. So. A lot of questions there. The short answer is I don't know if we're closer. That's not run out of our office, and I'm not sidestepping the question. I'm glad you responded to the survey. That's the important part.
Right.
Get your thoughts known. That decision is being made. I don't know the time frame. It doesn't happen at my pay grade. But that's more than we've had to tell you every last time I've come down here. So that's on the books, but I don't know what the result's going to be. They have to look at the feedback.
Important as port credit is to your fishery and the difficulties you're having with the pen projects, is there any talk about letting those fish get upstream? Getting some of those, was there a dam or a weir or something?
Yep. So we do stock, it's our biggest stocking site, is Credit River, and we count on it for our egg take. So that's why we put so many fish in the first place. It's the heaviest stocking allocation is the credit. There is a dam there. We do have a fish counter on it now. So that discussion of fish pasture has been going on longer than I've been around. Andy?
Yeah, so
A couple of friends?
Yeah, the 10,000 fish in the pen bits are what we call really a demonstration pen. We're putting about 150,000 upriver, direct stock. Right now, the allocation in the port credit area is about 160,000. So, you know, with discussions with the Zone 20 Council, Port Credit wanted to have a demonstration pen so they can get people out and have a salmon day. So they've been very successful at having a salmon day in Port Credit. We've limited them to 10,000 to kind of mitigate the risk. We started at 5, we went to 10. We recognize that's a river site, so it has some other concerns just about the changes in water quality with the river and whatnot. So we are stocking the river proper heavily with about 150,000, and that's that demonstration pen in the credit. It's unfortunate we lost the fish there this year, and Colin's going to work with the port credit guys to work on that protocol around weather and whatnot. So
can Pacific salmon get up above, or are they just trying to keep them down below?
So they can get through. There's 2 fishways on the credit. There's the Streetsville fishway, which is at kilometer 15, I believe, and the Norval fishway at kilometer 40, I believe, above that. Chinooks do get through Streetsville, and then they're held back for egg take. They gate that fishway there as a bit of a block so we can collect eggs, but then it's managed for fish to get through that fishway. That's the fishway we put the camera on this year with Streetsville. So we want those fish to get through there so we can see them on the camera.
You didn't have a camera at Ganaraska, did you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we've got 2 cameras now. We only had the camera in at the credit for about 2 weeks. By the time we got the construction done, the electricians in, and you know how that goes with just getting the trades in. But we're good to go there. We've done a whole pile of upgrades, new crane system, new security system, solar power. So hopefully we'll hit the ground running this spring on the camera system on the credit.
Just a quick question. You stock, I don't know what it was, 900,000 or whatever it was, and say the success rate in the pen project is 2 to 1. Do you grow those fry in more than one location? And if you did, then would you be able to reduce one of those locations to stock some other species? Because now you don't need to stock Spain because you have a 2 to 1 success ratio in the pen.
Right, so we do consider the success when we're talking about allocation because we are getting a better return. But they're all grown in one spot right now. They're at Marmondale, yeah.
So just on the leveling of the numbers, back the base target for Lake Ontario is about 2.36 million. New York has about 1.7, and we have 600,000 roughly. When we learned about sort of the survival improvement from pens, originally pens started off as an imprinting project to try and get those fish to home into locations instead of just direct stocking in a harbor to hold them for a while. And what we found was the imprinting was sort of neutral. Direct stock fish were imprinting more or less as well as net pen fish, but they found that net pen fish were surviving twice as good. That was an interesting finding. So knowing that we're getting twice the return from those stocked fish, we have to think about that in terms of total stocking load. So right now between Ontario and New York, there's about 700,000 pen fish, about 500 in New York, and we've got about 235, so somewhere in the neighborhood of 700. Steve LePan and I, we put not a moratorium on pens, but we said we kind of locked down the number. Any further increases to pens, we need to do it at 2 to 1, but we weren't going to do it on historical pen stocking. So we're just trying to make sure we don't have pen creep, because if we converted all of our fish to pens, we would effectively double our stocking, and then that could be an issue for the forage base, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So there's some goofy accounting that goes on, because as you'll see in a minute, when we reduced our stocking this year in Lake Ontario, we had to pull fish from pens. We pulled them out at 2 to 1. So just so we could count them that way. But I'll get into some of those details as we go here. It's kind of the new Chinook math.